I've been studying in the Philippines for about 3 years now. My mother tongue is Italiano, and I've learned English later on. Okay, so Italy is a democratic republic wherein the parliament has the legislative power, the government has the executive power, and the judiciary has the judicial power. And the president of the republic is more of a representative of the state. He represents more of like the unity of the state. So the role of a woman in Italy really depends on which part of Italy you look into. For example, in the northern part of Italy, women are seen as almost equal to men. Women of the north have day jobs and work 9 to 5, whilst women of the south are seen as inferior to men, and most of them, women of the south, are housewives, and most of the work is done by men. Quindi every employee in Italy have a personal health card which entitles them to free or low-cost treatment and checkups. Employees also get certain days of vacation which are all paid, and female employees in particular get to have 2 months of maternity leave before having the child and 3 months after having birth. In addition to that, all employees are also insured by the company they work at for any injuries that they may obtain doing their work. People in Italy are much more liberated in every aspect, from the clothes we wear to how we act. Italians also move their hands a lot when talking to put emphasis on the story or what we're telling. And as far as organizations go, I'm not really aware of any for that matter. For how employees are treated in Italy, there is no discrimination at all. All employees are respected, whichever their job is, because that's how people should be. You should be respected even if you're just a janitor or if you're a CEO of a company, because respect. Duh. So as far as difficulties, the first biggest, I guess, for me, difficulty was the change in culture. So I'm very used to not being judged by what I wear, what I do, what I say, and moving to the Philippines certainly made me put up certain limitations to the things I do, how I dress and how I talk. Another difficulty is the language barrier. It's very hard moving to another country knowing barely anyone and not even knowing their language. So yeah, and as I said, going to another country and having that country being on the other side of the world, and your family and friends and the people you're so familiar with being on the other side is just so hard. But I guess you have to deal with that. And another very, very, very difficult thing that I've had to face was the transportation. I'm very used to getting where I need to be in like 20, maximum 30 minutes in Italy by using public transportation. However, here in the Philippines, that's not quite the case, and it's just very hard to commute here in the Philippines. First of all, do not discriminate anyone for their race. It's easy to judge someone based on a stereotype created for a certain ethnic group by the society we live in. But yeah, second of all, just because someone has a degree or has finished university doesn't automatically mean that they are capable. See, some people who only obtained diplomas are much more competent in certain fields compared to others who have degrees. Base your assumption, I guess, about someone's competence through their experience and not just what's written on paper by a school. On experience, I mean like look at where they did their stage, which is like OJT if I'm not mistaken, or if they've worked somewhere and all that. Just don't just base someone's competence by what's written, by what their grade is basically.